Way to go. Yes. Grateful again that you all are here. My name is Matt Stefan, and I get to be part of the little leadership team that keeps Dwell Church moving and going. One of the things I think about often is Dwell Church doesn't belong to me, doesn't belong to our amazing leadership team. We are Dwell Church, and so it is essential when you all show up. Thank you so much for being here. A couple things I want to go over about sort of the life or near-term future of Dwell Church before we get in to talking about Christmas. Let's see if this guy works. You ready? Yes. Okay. What's the next one here? Nope, wrong way. Let me see. Oh, wrong way entirely. Okay, now we're getting it. I'm hitting it, and you're hitting it. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, what's the other one besides? This one, yes. Okay, let's talk about this for a moment. We're in something we're calling Sustainability 2.0. Over the summer, we worked really hard in Sustainability 1.0. Part of what we want to do is build richly into the fabric of what Dwell is. Last time we were asking people to pray for Dwell Church every day, to build our attendance to 50 people, and to get to financial sustainability. That was an absolute moonshot of a goal over the summer, but we got halfway there to financial sustainability. Now, Sustainability 2.0, we're working towards these goals, building some sustainable teams. The last one is for you individually to start building some sustainable spirituality. And the series we're going to be in over the next 3 weeks is like a big personal spirituality. We're going to take a look at some really interesting research that suggests a core piece of the puzzle for your thriving is a daily spiritual practice. So start thinking about that. Even if you hate the idea of that, let's work together to find something that you don't hate so much. Because it is, in fact, life-giving to connect with Jesus as best you can each day. And lastly, if you haven't already, become a financial partner of Dwell Church. It is essential for Dwell over the next 6 to 9 months to arrive at financial sustainability. It is amazing that we are already more than halfway there. So be thinking about that, be praying about that. We're excited about the amount of progress we have made so far. Now, the other slide that I might be able to get to, but probably not. Let's see. Nope, not that one. Okay, you got it. Okay, this one. Look at this. We got so many good things going on in December. Let's just walk through these together. Next week, Sunday, right back here at 5 p.m., final week of our coat drive. Then Friday, December 20th, we'll have a 1 hour, similar to Trunk or Treat, but Christmas-themed thing going on in the parking lot that we're calling Holiday Fair. So hot cocoa bar, cookie decorating, snow machine, bounce house, all kinds of fun things. We're inviting the whole neighborhood. That's going to be great. Then after that, we'll have a traditional-ish Christmas service right here in this room, candle lighting and everything. It's going to be beautiful. There is a cellist coming, so you know it's good when the cello shows up. Christmas is going to be amazing. You'll see in our emails that we're looking for some Dwell builders to help pull off that thing in the parking lot. Should be fun, though. Then Sunday morning, December 22nd, we're having a vision and fundraising brunch. If you haven't been to one of our vision and fundraiser events, they're very low-key, but it is really the best place to hear the whole Dwell Church story and ask any question that you might have brewing in your heart or mind. So it's a very sort of open-handed ask on the financial side of things with that. It's mostly informational, so if you've never been to one, a great chance to come, hear more, have a deeper conversation about what Dwell is. And I can promise you, like an A-minus brunch, so that is worth showing up for, I think. Then on New Year's weekend, the 29th, we're trying something we're calling Dwell Online, and we'll also be hosting some Dwell dinners. Register for those in advance this coming week so we know how many hosts that we need, but great chance to connect then. Then we'll kick off the year real strong. In January, we'll do something that we call Dwell Discernments, where we get into smaller tables. Each table has a group project they're working on. That if they had a month of Sundays at Dwell Church, they could do anything with this 1 hour time slot, dream together about what you could do. Almost all of our Sunday content has come out of those. So really good stuff, really good chance for you. Even if you don't see yourself here long term, you can put some real powerful fingerprints on the short term of what Dwell Church is and will think about. Community discernment's awesome. Then the best thing we do, January 12th, another story night right here in this room, 5 p.m. So we're kicking off the year real strong with two of our favorite things that we do. That's what we're doing. You can see that we are gearing up for an amazing holiday season, and that, my friends, means it's time to talk about Christmas. As Lisa said, we're jumping in to the shape of joy. We're talking about joy. There's lots of ways to talk about Christmas. You could talk about the initiative of God coming to us, deeply gracious and merciful thing, that he comes to us when, of course, we feel like we could never come to him. We could talk about the way that you, in turn, are supposed to be deeply generous. Christmas is sometimes seen as this most generous time of the year. Jesus is the gift to us. We're giving a gift to each other. We could talk about hope, that in the darkness, the light is always powerful enough to shine through into your life. That God somehow does his best work in the silence, in the darkness. But instead, we're talking about the shape and the power of the joy that Jesus has for us. In a quintessential Christmas scene, Luke chapter 2, the angels come to announce the birth of Jesus, God himself, the Hebrews God, Yahweh, the God of the Bible, becoming a human being. The angels arrive to announce it. And they don't come to the powerful or the wealthy or the kingmakers or the media channels. They come to a despised class who sometimes cannot even testify in court. They come to the shepherds, the dirty manual laborers, fit only to live and work among animals. And of course, the shepherds have never seen an angel. Have you seen an angel? If you saw one, your first thought would be, I can't tell anyone. They'll think I'm crazy. And the shepherds are afraid out of their mind. And the angels say to them, this shall be our code word for our slide, since my thing isn't working here. All right, here we go. The angel said to them, do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all people. See, the theme of Christmas, the first thing said about it in the Bible is great joy for all people. Turns out joy is this fundamental theme in all of the Bible in the Old Testament. It says, the joy of the Lord is our strength. In Hebrews, it says that Jesus, for the joy set before him, endured the cross. And we already can see maybe we have a misconception of joy because in Jesus' mind, the cross and joy concerning the cross were not incompatible, but often I think my own suffering is quite incompatible with the idea of joy. Joy is part of the undercurrent of what God has to say to us. In fact, Dallas Willard said that God is the most joyful being in the universe. He created joy. Joy is not a human discovery in fortunate circumstances. Joy is part of God's character that he is imprinting upon us as he dwells within us. That's what we're going to talk about for the next couple weeks. Joy is so foundational to the Christian faith that C.S. Lewis said this. Great job. Joy is the serious business of heaven. That is one of the main events going on in whatever we conceive of as heaven, that it's joy. And that in our conceptualization of what the gospel is, including but not limited to, yes, Jesus dying so that our sins could be forgiven, but even more than that, that God came in a deeper, richer way to us with his presence, that presence was joyful, that the result in our lives is supposed to be deeply joyful. In fact, C.S. Lewis said this, no soul that seriously and constantly desires joy will miss it. Oh, that's a tough one. Those who seek, find. To those who knock, it is opened. And so the robust theme of joy poses to us a real problem. Why do we not experience more joy in our lives? If the God who has come to dwell within us is defined by joy, why am I not also defined by joy? As we unpack this problem over this series, part of what we'll look at is this emerging but powerful bit of non-religious research that kind of points in all directions to the power of your own spiritual practices to connect with something like the person of Jesus in your life is an essential piece of the puzzle to experience daily real significant joy. One of those bits of research comes from this book, The New Happy by Stephanie Harrison. She is part of a factory at the University of Pennsylvania producing what they call positive psychologists. Traditional psychology studies what's wrong with people. Positive psychology studies people who seem to be doing pretty good in life, figure out what they're doing differently than the rest of us. My wife happens to have a PhD focusing on positive psychology, so she's always giving me books like this when I'm in a bad mood. That's not true, actually, but it's a funny joke. I actually ran across this person on social media, but this book is pretty amazing. It's a sort of contemporary compendium of all of the research around joy. We're going to study 2 books about that. This is a pretty good one. I saw this person on social media because there was a different social media channel posting an opinion piece from the magazine Slate, and the opinion piece was about this particular topic. People say they want a village to live their lives with, but then they don't act in very villagey ways. So how do we navigate this problem? We all want a village, meaningful relationships, but we choose consistently to act in ways that are incompatible with village life. So Stephanie Harrison, author of that somewhat unrelated book, said on social media this: if everybody wants a village, then why aren't people behaving in villagey ways? I have an answer. We are living under what I call old happy, which is what this book is about, which is how the systems of capitalism, individualism, and social status have shaped the way that we understand and pursue our own happiness. Old happy has instilled a very specific unconscious set of values in all of us. Focus on yourself above all else, succeed and achieve as much as you can, and separate yourself from other people. View them as less important than you. When these are your unconscious values and somebody tells you to go out and build community, how do you think it goes? Not very well. Building community requires a completely different set of values and behaviors. It means showing up for people when it's inconvenient for you. It means building relationships with people you might not have that much in common with and learning to trust them and to be trusted in return, and shifting away from self-focused goals to ones that are more pro-social or even communal. I truly believe that everyone does actually want community, but everything that is required to do this goes against our old happy conditioning. And because happiness is our greatest goal, we are always going to be thinking about it and prioritizing it. One of the ways this pursuit of happiness manifests is through our programming of old happiness's idea that the next achievement will make you lastingly happy. So you say, okay, I'm going to focus on this for a while, and then once I'm happy, I'll go out and build my community. Believing this will keep you on a constant hamster wheel where you are chasing these false ideas of happiness when the real sources of it are available right here and right now. Non-religious people are helping you and I unpack the story that we are living. We've been given a story around individualism and achievement. It's programmed deep within us. It's in Disney movies. Every single one of them is about this story, finding the next achievement or milestone, leaving your community, finding some person on an adventure. That did happen to me. I used to be from Kansas City. Married somebody from the great state of California. I get that. But you and I, in deep soul-forming ways, have been given a story that you are a lone actor in pursuit of your own specific good that is often about a pursuit of milestones or achievements that you've dreamed about, maybe even since you were a kid. This stuff is really deep. Christmas is an invitation to examine the story that you are living and the fruits that it bears in your life. It turns out that the person of Jesus, the God he incarnates from the story of the Bible, is all about deconstructing the human stories that we are living. And so in Genesis, the context in which that is living, all humans were living a story where humans were disposable and made to serve the gods represented by kings and priests. And into that story, the Hebrews believe, no, you are made in the image of God. You are precious, dear to God. In Jesus' world, they were living the story of honor or shame. The people that you associated yourself with would either put honor into your account or shame into your account. And so some classes of people were to be avoided or disposed of. And Jesus said, no, I am among the least. And to you and I, living our story of individualism and achievement, Jesus says, no, I am the great connector. That the true source of joy in your life will be when you connect deeply with other human beings. And you will do it not by being better than them in demonstrable and monetizable ways, but by serving them and by loving them. That will be the source of joy for you. and quite wildly, this, not in a parade, not in a newspaper, but as a tiny little baby. And this is the great connecting moment of the divine life and human life. And it tells us that at the very least, the beginning of the story is that human beings are a receptacle for the divine presence. That you were born to be filled with the presence of the living God. That is what draws us into this room together. That is the story that we are living. So Christmas is this great opportunity for you to start thinking in really intentional ways. What story am I living? Is it doing for me what I hoped that it would do? And as we journey through the next couple of weeks, we are going to think together about the story, the alternative story that Jesus is inviting you and I to live. And here is at least a beginning step. You and I, containers for the divine. And like the baby Jesus, the story that we get to live is that you are beloved, but you are small. And next week we will unpack the power of embracing the smallness modeled to us by God dwelling within the vulnerable baby Jesus. See, if smallness is good enough for the living God, it's good enough for you and I. The competitive individualism that we have been living dies at the manger when we see God lived dependent and connected, whereas we keep living independent, disconnected lives. You, my friends, are deeply loved. And we will embrace together that we are so small, that being filled with God's Spirit, being deeply loved, are not incompatible with being a tiny little speck in an infinite galaxy. And that together we discover something large enough to bring us the joy that we need and that we desire. So we're going to pray together that God would be revealing to us the ways we are living this story of competitive individualism. And next week, we're going to talk about what are the alternatives offered to us. And one of the deeply interesting things is all of the research on joy is pointing from every angle that you need to be doing something like living a Christian relationship with one another and with God. Let me pray for y'all. Jesus, we're so grateful that you came to us, and what you brought to us was not judgment, God, but it was joy and it was connection. Lord, would you give us great wisdom to see how each one of us has taken lots and lots of steps in life based on this competitive sense of self. Would you show us, Lord, how to offer those things to you, how to give them to you, Lord. Would you reveal to us what does it mean to live your kind of joy? Would you reveal to us a small sense of ourselves? Oh, we love you, Jesus, and we lift our lives up to you. Amen. All right, give it up to Brian.